Oh, Katie's interviewing me for a magazine. I think I was about 4 years old, and I was out in the garage at my parents' house swinging on a swing we had in the garage. We had it there because it was winter. It was December 18th, and up in our driveway came the station wagon with my mom and dad and my new baby brother Lenny. That's the first thing I remember, waiting for them to come home with the new little brother. So I was 4 because he's 4 years younger. My favorite place to visit and go on vacation is Hawaii. It's beautiful. It smells good, it sounds good, it feels good. It's just magical. One of my other favorite places is my home. Just being there. I love my house, my yard. And lately I've been trying to make any place I'm at my home and my favorite place. I love the beach. I love going to Debbie's house. It's magical, whimsical, refreshing, renewing, lovely, inviting, nurturing. I like going to my dad's house. I feel comfort there. Every birthday is really special to me. There was a time when I was in my 20s, and for some reason we ended up in Maui every September on my birthday. And people would bring me little gifts, shell necklaces, earrings, bracelets, little Hawaiian wraps. All my presents were Hawaiian. And my family was all there, not just my immediate family, but my cousins and my grandparents. That was fun. Those birthdays were fun. Those were good times, carefree times. Other birthdays are special in a different way. When my kids were little and make me notes and little coupon books. Good for one foot rub. Good for one back rub. I'll have to look those up. See if they're empty. 30. You had just been born on the 7th, and I turned 30 on the 25th. So I thought of you as my birthday present. And then Lindsay, when I was 33, was born on the 29th, and I thought of her as my birthday present. So yeah, I've had some good birthdays. I've never been drunk. I'm always this crazy. I was in high school, drank a wine called Annie Green Springs. I think I liked it because my nickname is Annie. And I just remember getting sicker than a dog at Westmoreland Park in the bushes. Gross. That's the only time. Well, that day. Yeah, there was a place downtown Portland called the Rodeo. And I lived on Hawthorne, not far, and I would drive downtown and meet my friends at the rodeo. We would dance. It sounded like it's country, but it wasn't. It was just all kinds of music. Oh, sure, we danced all the time. The go-go. The twist. The monkey. I'd like to see my girls dance sometime. I really would. The first concert I remember going to, and this may be wrong, but I went to Chicago. Saturday in the park. at the Coliseum with my best friend then was Liz. We had these long granny dresses on, the halter tops with the long dresses and leather thong sandals, these big crocheted bags, and off we'd go to the concerts. We went to so many concerts. Everybody who came to town. It was $12 to see a concert when I was young. Oh, I have to take it back. My first concert was Sonny and Cher when I was about 12. I loved Sonny and Cher, especially Cher with her long hair. So my mom and dad took me, just me, to see Sonny and Cher. It was really great. I wanted to be Cher from that moment on. Oh, the good old days. When my sister was sick in the hospital from her accident, Goldie Hawn came into the waiting room. She had this big fur coat on. She was there because her husband, at the time, Almond brother, whoever, his mother was in intensive care. So for a flash, I saw Goldie Hawn and her blonde hair and this fur. Pretty exciting. Oh, and on one of the cruises we went on, I ran into Richard Simmons, the exercise guy. Someone took a picture. I don't know where that picture went. Hugged me, kissed me. He was wearing his little shorts. Oh yeah, we used to work out to the exercise tapes. Jane Fonda, Richard Simmons. I can't think of who all. Jane Fonda especially. I went bowling. My grandma took us bowling. We were on a bowling league on Saturday mornings when I was little. With Debbie. Maybe not Debbie. I know Julie, Lenny, and Larry and my sister were there. Julie and Larry were the best bowlers. Strike after strike. My sister and I, we could barely make it to 100 half the time. Especially my sister, she was so tiny, she'd get up there and just kind of roll the ball down. Make its way into the gutter and roll on down. My worst date in high school. So many bad things happened in high school, all the crazy stuff. So I was supposed to go out with this guy, and my Aunt Julia from Aberdeen had come down with fresh oysters, and she fried them up for us for dinner at our house. And I ate a plate full of oysters and clams, and I went with my date to Oaks Park, rode the rides, got the second ride, bleh, threw up on him, on me. You know how it swirls around, vomit everywhere. It was horrible. It was the most embarrassing date of my life. Never saw him again, I don't believe. I felt sick. Oh, it was humiliating. That was the worst date of my entire life. There's probably others, but that was the sickest. We'll say that. That one made me the sickest. That was the sickest date ever. Going to the proms were the best dates. Getting all dressed up. Everyone happy. Looking cute. I had to sell my old bicycle to get enough money to buy the fabric. And it was white satin. Halter top. That's what I had this pattern that was a halter top granny dress. And I made it in white satin. And I just looked stunning. And everyone loved it at the prom. They just kind of looked at me, I could tell. And then the next year I made it in a lime green. And when I went to the Chicago concert with Liz, I had another version of the granny dress. I probably made 6 or 7 of those dresses. And I was very fortunate to learn to sew when I was very young. My mom taught us to sew. And then my grandma would take us to the Pendleton Woolen Mills anytime we wanted to go and just let us buy a pattern fabric to sew, and we would just go home and sew, sew, sew. Our clothes, crazy culottes, crazy elephant pants that are coming back now, by the way. It's really a good time. Uniforms, no, we could wear whatever we wanted. We could not wear dresses unless it was a snow day. Yeah, on snow days we could wear pants to school, otherwise just dresses. And I made a lot of my clothes. So it was cheaper back then to sew. Now fabric cost a small fortune. I must say though that my proudest moment in my life, you haven't asked me that, would be having you graduate from college and Lindsay graduate from college. My dreams. Those were my dreams, for my girls to graduate. And they did. Yay. Yeah, let's see. If I could live anywhere, too, I would live right here. I've traveled quite a bit, you know. Been to Spain, Paris, Portugal, Venezuela, Hawaii numerous times, Alaska, California, Arizona. What was my childhood like? Fabulous. It was so much fun. Oh my goodness, we did everything. My dad was big on driving places. Hop in the car, we'd go to Yellowstone Park, drive down to Oakland to see my grandparents, up to Pendleton to see my aunt and uncle on their farm, up to Aberdeen to see my cousins up there. Oh, anytime we went anywhere, we drove when we were kids. We had a station wagon with 2 seats in the back and then the front seat. The back seat faced out. So fun. We did have a little bit of sibling rivalry, I would say, because there was my sister, Lori, Larry, and then me. And then 4 years, there was no one until Lenny came. So for a while, I was the baby, which was really fun. And then he came, and then he was the baby. And, you know, the middle child syndrome, I believe I have that, whatever that is. But it was fun. We had Debbie, Julie, and Patty lived right next door, and we were like a big family. We played Army combat out in the yard, hiding in the woods, and we had these canteens and these old Army hats. Oh, it was just fun. We came to the beach. We had a beach house in Seaside we came to frequently. We just had a great time. It was always fun. But it was strict, in a way. We were very frugal, didn't waste anything. Our policy was treat others as you want to be treated. If you borrow something, return it in better condition than you received it. Stick to your word. Be honest. Don't steal. If you need something, let me know. I'll get it for you. You know, just good morals, a good work ethic. We worked in the yard every weekend. We had to keep our rooms clean, make our beds every day. We had chores. It was, you know, it was stern, but it was fun. My parents loved each other. We knew that. They loved us. It's great. Who was more strict? My dad. Yeah. But even then, I wouldn't even say it was strict. But he was very fair also. If somebody wouldn't own up to the fact that they had done it, well, then we all lined up and you'd say, bend over. We'd all bend over and he'd swat us down the line. We'd be looking down.
My favorite cousin, you know, it's changed throughout the years. It used to be Julie. Back when we were kids, she was closest to my age, so her and I hung out a lot. Debbie was with my sister Lori, and then it was Larry just hanging around, I guess, with Julie a lot. But then me and Julie, and then Lenny and Patty were the same age. And then as we got, oh, and I always loved Valerie out on the farm because we would go out there and she was this tall, serene, hardworking pioneer woman. It was just fun to go visit her. And then there was a time in our life where we didn't see each other. Plus, we all went to school together. We caught the bus together. We came home from school together. We saw each other at school. But I would, and then Patty and I were really close for a while. When you were small and Ben was small, we hung out together. We traded babysitting, and she helped me paint your nursery. And then now it's been Debbie. She's just been a real comfort and joy, and it's like she can read my mind sometimes. So, it changes. Oh, and then my cousin Leann up in Spokane. It was a real treat to visit with her, too, because we didn't see her very often. And she is one that I can just call up, or she can call me after even a year or two, and just start the conversation where we left off. Just very connected. What was I like in high school? Fabulous. I was gorgeous. Everyone loved me. I was friends with the popular girls and then friends with the nerdy girls. I wasn't really in any one clique because I liked everybody. That's how I remember it. Best teacher of my whole high school. Well, I don't know. She wasn't the best, but she was my first grade teacher, Mrs. Hart. She had white hair. She must have been 70 already. And I really liked her. And I remember when I was in the 4th grade or so, she was walking down the hall. And all these kids were around her. Hi, Mrs. Hart. Hi, Mrs. Hart. And I wiggled my way. Hi, Mrs. Hart. And she looked at me. She said, "Do you have something on your face, child?" I thought, oh, that was a very nice thing to say to a little kid. I remember just slinking back amongst the crowd and wiping my face. Oh, the worst dream? Well, I had recurring dreams when I was little of running through the orchard at night in the dark with a man chasing me and just trying to run and just being in slow motion. And I would wake up in a cold sweat. Night after night after night, I would have that dream. And years later, I had that dream. I think a lot of people have that dream where they're being chased and they just can't get away. My favorite dreams often were about water or flying around Milwaukee and looking down and being in a stream and just floating. Either really horrible dreams or really great dreams. And I always could remember my dreams for years and years and years. I dreamt so vividly one night that I had received $20 in a birthday card. I got up the next morning and I went over to my dresser. Where is that birthday card with the $20? I just looked everywhere for it and realized that it was a dream. Do I think I'm psychic? Yes. Not psychic in the typical sense, but I really have a good intuition about things. Sometimes I'll be thinking about calling someone and they'll call me, or texting someone and they text me back. I mean, they text me before. Or thinking I'm going to talk to someone about such and such, and then they bring it up. Or, yeah. But then I can be a little paranoid too and start thinking about weird stuff that never happens, thank goodness. What gives me the creeps? Weird people. Well, if you're thinking of spiders, bugs, snakes, that stuff doesn't give me the creeps. Pretty tough. It takes a lot to creep me out. What has been the most exciting time in my life? I would say in my 20s, being on my own, having a job, having a car, having an apartment, being independent, going places, smoking, having a drink whenever I wanted, just being really healthy and just feeling like, you got it all. Being single, no responsibilities, really. Having a loving family, always supportive. Yeah, that was a great time. And now is a really good time. With my daughters older, they're more like friends now. And it's so interesting to see where their lives are taking them, how clever they are. And I just feel really happy and healthy, funny enough. And I love my home and just feel really content. Just waiting to see what life is bringing. How are my daughters similar to me and how are they different? That's a tough one. Katie's very creative, which I am not, but she's also very sensitive, which I am, and kind of a perfectionist, which I am, but in different ways, I think. And Lindsay, I see as just really relaxed, easygoing, happy. But she has her stress levels too, I think, which I get. They've had to have gotten from me. I'm just always trying to figure that out. I think one time I have them figured out and then they change. Constantly trying to keep up. And also keep an open mind that they're not the kids, the babies that they were, that they've grown into adults and women, and they've evolved in different ways, and I'm not always right on top of that. And that's why it's really important for me to be involved in their life. Did I kind of evade that question? I ponder it, and it just changes. Sometimes I think, oh, Katie is just like me. And then sometimes I think, oh, Lindsay's just like me. So there's, relatable on different levels and with different things. And I don't know where either one of you got your cooking skills. I don't know where that came from, but I'm so glad you have them. Because that was just continues to be something that I've never enjoyed, cooking. I went from being single and just eating whatever and whatever I wanted to be married with a baby that I had to prepare morning, noon, and night meals, healthy, depended on me to survive. So it's a big responsibility. My advice to my girls and their children? Wow, it would be just be as loving as you can, unconditionally. Reward the good behavior and try to ignore the bad or unacceptable. And just always be there and support them. Patience, patience, patience. And forgive. Every day is a new day. You start fresh, but you never stop loving your children. Never. I get emotional talking about it. I just feel like I'm going to start bawling. Because motherhood is such a wonderful thing. You just don't understand how much you can love a child until you have one. It's all-consuming. Your own needs and desires go right out the window. And everything is about your child. And that's how it needs to be. It should be about your child. Your child comes first, always. If I were to protest anything, it would be burn my bra. I didn't participate in physical protests, but I would always be for the woman. Girl power. Women have to stick together. It appalls me how women just fight. We should be lifting each other up and supporting them. We're women. We need support. We are no less than men. We are equal, if not better. They don't know how to have a baby. There's a lot of things I would protest. Right now, handicapped bathrooms is an issue for me. It says handicap, but you can't even get the door open. There's a lot of issues. You know, food in school cafeterias, gross. Let's change that right away. I'm glad to see they're taking a lot of action towards bullying and drugs. It's terrible for our kids, for adults. Prescription medication, really fight that somehow. I would love to fight the cost of college books. Oh my gosh. Why are books so expensive? I would fight that. Yeah, there's a few things that really irritate me. Women's rights. You gotta have the right to choose what you do with your body. Abortion. The one thing that I don't agree with is these moms who don't want to vaccinate their kids. It's so important. And we wiped out polio in my generation because we all got vaccinated. Polio is a horrible disease. Measles are gone. Mumps, chickenpox. Those are deadly diseases that have been wiped out because everyone got vaccinated. I could tell when Grandpa's lying. He's not a good liar. He'd rather tell the truth. He goes way overboard. Well, and he fibs a lot, and sometimes I don't know if he's fibbing or not. Talking to Lizzie about her house, it's got 6 big, huge cedar trees in it. And when he went to see it, he told her, we're going to have to take out all these cedar trees. So she worried day and night about taking out all those cedar trees, and he said it would cost about $2,000 a tree. So she started calculating how much it was going to cost just to have all these cedar trees removed. So I went over there with her, and we tried to decide on which ones really had to go, you know. And so then I mentioned it to Grandpa about taking out the cedar trees. He said, oh, I was just kidding. We're not going to take out any cedar trees. I said, oh, you poop. You can't be telling people that. That was the last time. That was the most recent. Did Grandpa play tricks? Yes. I remember on April Fool's Day one time, he was up in the bathroom shaving, and he put ketchup all over, and he called out, ow, ow! So we kind of running in there, and there's ketchup all over. We thought he was bleeding. You know, that was so funny. That sticks out in my mind, but he's got the best sense of humor. Always can find something funny. Has funny, quirky little sayings. I just love it. He got those from his mom, Grandma Naomi. She had funny little sayings. And I would hope to pass that on to my girls. To have a sense of humor. It just makes things so much better. And hang out with people that have a sense of humor. And don't take yourself too serious. I think the best thing you could do is to have a loving, supportive spouse, well, partner, in helping you raise your children. That is so important because it's a lot of work. Not that you can't do it yourself, but it's just, I think, easier to have a caring partner who thinks the same thing about raising kids as you do. Live with them, yes. See them around other children. Talk about it. Talk to his parents. Talk to his siblings about how he is. And listen to them when they say he's got a bad temper, or he's really loving, or he will never put his socks in the hamper. I mean, we can raise kids on our own, but I don't think it's meant to be that way. I think it's definitely takes a community to raise children the right way. And ask for help, ask for support. What is my worst bad habit? Probably worry. I wish I could have given that up. But it's so hard. When you love somebody so much that you worry about everything they're doing. Worry gets you nowhere. You have to either put that on your bathroom mirror or carry it with you. I don't know if it is a gene that I have. My dad is a worry wart. I think we all worry to some extent, and it can be motivating. Stress can motivate you, but it can also paralyze you and totally freak you out. Nobody worries as much as I do. I think a dream job would be to have your own shop of some sort. I used to think a flower shop, then I used to think a coffee shop, then I thought a bookshop. Maybe one that had all that stuff. A cozy little corner for books, and then a little coffee machine, and then flowers and candles. I love to read books about women that have little shops in seaside towns where everyone knows each other, and I think something like that. But then it's also great to work for someone else and go home and just forget about it. But I've never been able to do that because we worked in the family business ever since I could walk, and that was just so much a part of our life when I was young and growing up, the business, that we just, our work ethic was very strong. You do the best job you can, you show up, you be responsible, you be honest, you do a good job. And I've just always carried that over to every job I've had. And it can make that job stressful because you're trying to do such a good job and other people are not pulling their weight, or they're not as involved as you are. Did I ever run away? No. Lenny did. He was probably about 5. We looked all over for him. It was in the summer, and we finally found him on his tricycle, riding down Lake Road. And we caught up with him, or someone brought him back. So, where were you going? I was running away. What? Why? No, we had I would never run away. Why is it such a big deal to keep your room clean? For one, it shows respect for your things and yourself. And it's easier to walk around without stepping on your clothes. I mean, I think it was just ingrained in me. I mean, just imagine every day for 17 years, having to clean up, make your room clean and make your bed. It's just ingrained. And I did that for years and years. Always make your bed. Until probably the last 5 or 6 years. Why make my bed? I'm going to get back in it. But it also is easier to find things. And I tend to get a little stressed around clutter just because it muddles up my mind. So in my mind, if things are more organized, then your mind is more organized to concentrate on the things that are more important. I remember one time, Julie and I went to Bible camp, the same one that I sent you and Lindsay to. And my glasses, I took them off and set them on a bench and went in and had a shower, and I came back and somebody had sat on my glasses and broken them. Oh my gosh, I was just sick because how was I going to see? And luckily, it was either that day or the next day. It was a parents' visit day. My mom came with my Uncle Bob, who was visiting from Spokane, and he said something like, "I thought you wore glasses," and I started crying. So I broke my glasses. So he said, "Go get them." So I got them, and he fixed them all up. He taped them, I was able to wear them until I got home. I'll never forget that. Uncle Bob to the rescue. What advice would I give myself as a 20-year-old? Live it up. I think I did pretty good in my 20s. It's pretty carefree. I know it's hard for you and Lindsay to think that I ever was not a worrywart, but I was. It wasn't until I had kids that I really became very worried. Because there's so much that could go wrong. I didn't worry that much. I remember my roommate Maureen, my first roommate, when I moved out. You're so happy all the time. I just can't believe it. Nothing bothers you. You're so happy. It's like it was a bad thing. No, you're not happy. Why not? What's not to be happy about? Be happy. Be around people that make you feel good. I think that's something that is hard to learn. There's coworkers, there's family members, there's friends of friends, there's your own friends that just don't bring life to you. They're downers. They make you feel bad. They're negative or hurtful, or you don't agree with them. You outgrow friends. Just let it go. In a nice way. It's often mutual. Friends grow apart. And then just really cherish the ones that you have. Be your own advocate. Stand up for what you want, what you need. Don't take no for an answer. Don't be mean about it, but just keep asking until you get what you want. Or find someone who can get you what you want. And that's what I've learned as I've grown older. I used to be very timid. I wouldn't even return something to the store if it didn't fit or didn't work. I just too embarrassed. I was shy. I didn't want to have any confrontation. I never learned how to fight when I was growing up because we didn't ever fight. My parents never fought. Our kids, we fought that way, but I never learned how to have an argument and fight. There's an art to it. It's a good thing to learn to stand up for yourself. And I learned to do that mainly when you kids were little. If I thought you were being wronged somehow by a teacher or a bad grade or misunderstood, I was right down there. You've got to stand up for your children. Always. Even if they don't want you there meddling about, there's ways to get around that. But they won't know that you called the teacher. And you have to learn to find your voice. And I have had to learn how to find my voice in a nice way, not just blurt out, my demands or say it nasty. You don't have to be mean to get your point across. So there's something to be said about long engagements. I'm all for living together, where your grandpa would say, oh, you're living in sin. So what? It's not that way anymore. You gotta learn to change with the times. There's nothing like being in love. It's so great. It's wonderful. And it's better to have loved and lost than never to have loved at all. For sure. And I'm content with my past loves. What I would look for in a man: sense of humor. You gotta have someone that respects you and sees you as an equal. And it's all that give and take thing. If he's putting your needs first and you're putting his needs first, then you're both being met. I would just say a generous person, honest, smart, but not too smart. Somebody who's willing to just, be there as a companion, support you no matter what. I think a good work ethic is really important. A good family values. Dedication. A sense of joy. Happiness. Do I have any regrets? Yeah, I regret that I ever started smoking, because that was the hardest thing to quit. I regret not telling my parents, we knew we loved each other, but we didn't say it very often, probably at all. Saying telling people I love you, I care about you, I'm proud of you. I can't say that I regret marrying your dad because then I wouldn't have you. But I regret that I lost myself. But I'm glad that I found myself. Not too many regrets. I wish I hadn't started dyeing my hair. Because right now I'd be beautiful silver hair, I'm sure. I regret that I worried so much. But you got to find a balance between planning for the future and living for today. There's a balance there. You've got to be, I like this one, hope for the best, but prepare for the worst. I think just be in the moment. Be in the moment. Focus on what you're doing right now. Set aside time later to think about other things. I think I've spent a lot of time being in the moment but thinking about what I have to do, what's going to happen tomorrow, what happened yesterday, instead of just being present today. And to be more accepting of everybody. If you don't like them, fine, but you don't have to tell them you don't like them. Just, turn the other cheek. We don't always have to speak our minds. And it's okay to lie a little bit. Like, how's my butt look in these jeans? Great. Your butt looks great. When it's bulging here and there. They don't want to hear that. We want to be complimented. It makes people feel good. Find a way to compliment somebody every day. Not a lie, but a true compliment. I don't know why I don't like games, because they take patience. It took years to learn patience. And ironically now, I have nothing but patience. I can't hurry anywhere. I loved Racco. I like Candyland. I like those fast ones. Chutes and ladders. Never liked Monopoly. When we were little and we would come to the beach, there was a big round wooden table that would sit probably 12 people. And we would sit around that table I don't even know who all, cousins, family, and play Hearts, card game Hearts. Love that game. And I used to play cards with our neighbors. It's, I don't know. And we always tried to play games with you guys. We'd have game night once a week. I would play games with you during the day because I thought it was important for stimulation, and you loved it. And it's just something you do as a mom. But given the choice, no, I'm not a game player. No, I'm pretty easy to please. Pretty easy to please. I'll eat just about anything. I'll wear just about anything. So long as it's comfortable. Will not wear high heels. They hurt my feet. Take care of your feet. I love being on the water, near the water, boating. Just sitting next to it, looking at it, listening to it, sitting by a stream, floating on an inner tube. I always wanted to live on a boathouse. There was a program I watched when I was little. It was called Tammy. Tammy. She lived on a boathouse. She wore little capris and faded out tennis shoes. I always wanted to live like her. Again, the beach. No, I've never done karaoke. I'm a horrible singer. Terrible. But I love to sing, by myself with the music really loud. And I think I sound good, but I know I don't. So I do not sing. I always wish I could sing. I envy people who can sing. Even just sing on tune. I love it when Jeanette and Laura sing.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. We love you. You're having a fun time at the beach. Happy birthday, dear Leann. Happy birthday to you, my BFF. Tracy says happy birthday too. She can't wait to come to the beach again.
They have goofy little songs they sing, and sometimes they break into Amazing Grace. And it's just so, I just love music, songs. I love music.
Sing.
Sing? You want me to sing? No way. I used to sing all the time when you guys were babies. The same thing over and over again. Rock-a-bye baby. Or Mom is gonna buy you a mockingbird. I think it's Mockingbird. If that mockingbird don't sing, Mom's gonna buy you a diamond ring. If that diamond ring don't shine, Mom's gonna buy you something. And then, what else? Mom's gonna buy you a horsing cart. I don't even know it all. You should know it. I sang it to you all the time. See? Which I kind of figured was why you were such a fussy baby, because I sang to you all the time. Shut up, Mom! You're giving my ears a hurt. We didn't sing in there wasn't that much music in our house, I don't recall. I tried to learn the piano, but I don't remember music playing that often. But I love music. I have music playing all the time.
We are out here at Catherine Creek off the Columbia. It's hot. It's rocky. We've run into boulders. And more boulders. Katie went ahead to see if there was something up there. Here she comes now.
Happy birthday to you.
Yay!
You got enough wind? We'll just see.
Oh.
Yep, that looks delish.
Okay.
Thank you.
How pretty is that?
Happy birthday to me.
Yeah.